me black no more, cause it ain't facts no more. We discriminate mentally, don't whip our backs no more. When I tell that to my people that say I'm hating them folks, and I ain't never burned a cross or hung nobody with rope. They make mockery of us, they say our people are joke. Come from living in ghettos and we strung out on dope. Question, why do we always take the love of the folks who brought us up? We on boats and keep them chains on our throats, huh? Making tomotes got us working in fields instead of picking cotton, being plants and meals. They got us running up and down on this football field. Put your bed not protest cause you in slavery still. You can put your hands on me, it's clearly
Jesus Christ was born December 25th. They know this.
Because this is the thing. When you come in, it's like what he said, you're going to lose some people. You don't automatically cut them off. As far as you don't become a hermit, because it's just like this. They might not get it right then and there. Some people, it takes a little bit more time. So what you have to do is you have to be that light that shines to them, because they've known you all of their life, correct? And they'll be like, well, dang, what's your name again? Odell? Khalil. So they'd be like, damn, Odell, he done changed. So if he didn't stop smoking, he didn't stop doing this, he didn't stop doing that, maybe I can do it. But first, you have to change. First, you have to change. Let me show you something real quick.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 8, and verse 21.
Bring it on!
And he answered and said unto them,
Now this is Christ. This is Christ.
My mother and my brother are these which hear the word of God and do it.
And what?
And do it.
So when the officers told you, like, hey, you see these men out here, these are your brothers.
And he answered and said unto them, my mother and my brother are these which hear the word of God.
So my brothers and my sisters, even my mothers, are those who hear God's commandments, because they understand all of this stuff. They not only just hear it, but they do what?
They do it.
And they what?
They do it.
And they do it. Because it's just like this. In your biological family, if you come into some money, you already, like most black folks, we already know a lot of the people in my family are going to ask me for money. They're going to try to take advantage of me. Well, in this truth, according to the scriptures, if you come into some money, we're not going to come start begging you for something. If anything, we're going to be happy for you, because now you can pay your bills, you can do X, Y, and Z, and it won't be a strain on you.
Right.
So you get what I'm saying? Is that the family status changes. And even with your biological family, we're not saying cut them off and ostracize them. No, what we're saying is this. You must change first. Then they will see the change in you, and then Lord's will, they come in. But first, you must change. Give me that 8 in Judith 8:24. Judith 8:24. And that's the one thing that we encourage brothers when we come out. Yeah, we might sound a little harsh. Yeah, we might sound a little rough. But you know some of these Negroes out in the street, they need that. Just like, I'm going to be honest, I needed that. I needed somebody to pull me off to the side and be like, you need to straighten up or you're going to die. So what we're doing when we come out here is we're telling these men, grow up. Right. Literally, grow up. We should not have to have a whole nother nation of people be babysitters in our communities to tell us what we can and can't do, what we should and shouldn't do. We should have enough common sense amongst us men to know how to govern ourselves. Now, according to the country that we live in, yeah, they should be there. But at the same time, we should be able to look out on the streets, and when we see these young men out here selling drugs, we should be the ones telling them to stop.
Right, right.
Because in us growing up and telling the men to stop in the neighborhoods, maybe that will cut down on our young men killing each other.
Right.
Does that make sense? Read what you got.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 8 and verse 24. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brethren.
So the Bible is saying you must be an example. But first thing you must do, you got to straighten up. You got to start congregating. I already see you're growing a beard. You got to wear fringes. You got to change your diet. And a lot of people think that the diet, by you changing the stuff that you eat, is to restrict you, make you feel better. No, bro, when I started keeping, this is me personally, when I started keeping these commandments and I changed my diet, it helped me lower blood pressure. It helped me health-wise. Because think about it, in the black community, that's where you see the highest blood pressure. That's where you see the highest stroke. That's where you see the STDs, the gout, all of these physical ailments. Why? Those are penalties for breaking God's commandments. You get what I'm saying? Finish reading what you got.
Because their hearts depend upon us. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brother, because their hearts depend upon us, and the sanctuaries, and the house, and the altar rest upon us.
So the Bible says it's not just the other men out here who's looking at you. It could be the women and the kids who are looking at you. Because think about this. A lot of us young black men are growing up with the mentality, I want to be a player. I want to be a pimp. I want to have women in different cities, women in different parts of the city. Well, check this out. If the young men in the neighborhood, if you're known for that, if they see you, hey, you know what? I'm going to make such and such an honest woman. I'm going to marry this sister because the Bible says so.
That's right.
So when they see you do it, they're like, you know, this man just taught me a couple years ago that I need to have a bunch of different women. Now I see he's getting married. He's got some kids. He's doing the right thing. Maybe I want to do that. He looks happy. I want to do that. He ain't got to worry about STDs. He ain't got to worry about all this different stuff. Maybe I want that. So when young men and even young women, because this is another thing, the women in our neighborhoods, they look at the men.
Right.
They probably won't admit it, but they look at the men. When we straighten up, they'll straighten up.
That's right.
Because they look at us. It's just like some of them grew up without fathers. So the father figure that they're looking at are those older men in the communities. And in our communities, those be the main ones who get high, who get drunk, and those are the main ones who are hitting on the young women. Read that again.
Jude chapter 8 and verse 24. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brother, because their hearts depend upon us.
The minds of the people depend on us. And it's not just, I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about the Hispanic and Native American men also.
Right.
This is not just a black thing. It's an Israelite thing.
That's
And
right.
in order for us to come together first, the first thing we must start doing is keeping God's commandments.
That's right.
And in us keeping God's commandments, it'll change the way we think.
That's right.
If you change the way you think, you'll start changing the way you treat your brother.
Right.
Just like when we walk down the street, I don't see a nigga. I don't see a threat. I see my brother.
Right.
You can tell you who I see when I see you? I see this man right here. And that's what we gotta change. Because all our life we were taught like this man right here to look at each other like enemies. That's why we have no problem shooting each other dead in the street. We have no problem selling each other drugs. I have no problem. If I hate myself, I have no problem hating you.
Right.
And that's what we got from this guy right here. But with this guy right here, he's the one that teaches us how to love each other. But first, we got to grow up. First, you got to admit that you're wrong. Then you got to be like, how do I fix this thing? And it's not just you, but it can start with you. Because a lot of brothers think like, man, I don't know if I can do that. It's a big job. You can tell you where you start. You start by congregating. You get around like-minded men. Matter of fact, give me that in Sirach. What is that, 37?
37 and 12. 37 and 12.
I'm gonna have to go see my client at the hospital.
Yeah, I got you. But you got a flyer though, right?
Yes, sir.
Bro, check that flyer out. Because check this out. Let me see it real quick. Come here. Turn it around. There's the address and all the contact info right there. So, and check this out. When you call that number at any time, it's going to be me or this brother right here that answers the phone. And that's our job. Do we congregate? Today. It's Saturday. No, we come out here and teach the people early in the morning. And check this out. If you notice, are there any buckets out here? Have we asked you for anything? No. The only thing we ask you to do is change.
That's right.
Which is free. All the literature that we give out, free. The website, everything that you see up here, free. The only thing we want from our people is to grow the hell up and change.
That's right.
That is it. And that's free. It might cost you something later on. It might cost you some family members. But for every brother in the street that you lose, you'll gain 5 in this truth.
That's right.
Sounds like a good deal, right? I'll trade 1 for 5.
That's right.
Read what you got.
Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments.
So how do you know that a man of God will keep the commandments? Because read that again.
Be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest
Who you know. You know for a fact that he what?
to keep the commandments of the Lord.
That he keeps the commandments. How do you know a man keeps the commandments? How would you know? That's not a trick question. You'll see him. You'll see how he treats other people. You'll see how he walks through the neighborhood. You'll see how he treats his family, his wife. You'll see it. That's why we read it in Judith 8:24. It's up to us to be an example. People are paying attention to you. You might not think like, I'm just a regular guy. You'll be surprised at how many people are looking at you. Especially with you being an older brother. You will be surprised. When you change something, everybody else is going to change, because this is the one thing a lot of people don't realize about us, and I'll just say black men in general. We're very influential. When we do something, all of the other nations follow. Because check this out. When we started sagging our pants, what did everybody start doing? When we turn our hat backwards, what did everybody else start doing? When our women started wearing pants and skin-tight stuff, what the other nations start doing? Same thing. We are very influential. But what happens is this. We use that influence as evil. God says you're supposed to use that for good. You get what I'm saying? Read that part again in Sirach. Read it one more time.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
So that's another part. Whenever you go through something, especially in this truth, you're not going to go through it by yourself. When you go through hard times, a lot of brothers, what they do is that when they go through something, they want to withdraw themselves away from everybody. No, that's the time that you get closer to your brothers. That's the time that you call out to God. That's the time that God hears you. But we as a people, we've been taught to hate each other for so long, we really don't know how to love each other. Just like the brothers today have been showing our people love by correcting. Matter of fact, give me that Leviticus 19. You know what I want, 17. And a lot of our people, they don't understand it. They think that I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing. No, the fact is you're grown, you should already know this.
Right.
It's your job. You should have been teaching me. But now that I have the understanding, God and let us know, now we're going to show you.
That's
So
right.
that way, from that point on, you can go and show the other brothers and sisters. Does that make sense? Read what you got.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
What does the word rebuke mean, do you know? Let's take a guess. That's not wrong. Correct. There you go. You hit the nail on the head. Correct. I just want to say, the other words, they weren't wrong. They weren't completely wrong. But it basically, rebuke just means to correct. Because how old are you? 51. See, I'm 40. And where I grew up, you know, the neighborhood I grew up in, I didn't grow up here. Where I grew up at is if I did something, I got a whooping by the neighbor down the street. So by the time I made it home, what did happen when I got home? I done got another whooping. That's correction that I got down the street. So now I know subconsciously I can't go out here and do the stuff I want to do. Somebody's going to see me and I'm going to get a whooping. And then when I get home, I'm going to get another whooping. That's correction.
Right.
That's love. Read that from the top.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So it tells you don't hate your brother in your heart. but you correct them. So let me ask you this, trick question. Do the pastors, and I'm not talking about all of them, but those who know, do some of these pastors and some of these people out here show our people love in these churches? Why would you say that? You're not telling them the truth. You're not correcting them. Just like when you see two men want to get married, two women want to get married, you know a man in there shitting on his wife and you're not saying nothing, they're wrong as hell. Because they're benefiting from it. They're making something off of it. Us up here, that's why all of this stuff is free. I'm going to tell you the truth raw and uncut. And if you don't like it, take that up with God. That's my job, is to tell you raw and uncut. Because why? Because I love you enough to tell you the truth. Finish that up.
17. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Why would it say I don't want sin, that I don't want you to suffer sin? Why would it say that? What's the consequence of sin? Death. So by me correcting you and telling you, hey, what you're doing right now is wrong, I'm not condemning you, but I'm warning you. In the Bible, it's also called judging. People say you can't judge me. Yes, we can. That's our job. We can't condemn you. All that means is I'm warning you, telling you, hey, don't do this, because why? The wages of sin is, now what is sin? You know what sin is, right? What is sin? Trick question, trick question. Bro, see, look, man, look. See, you quoted it verbatim, too. You know the commandments. So that's what I'm saying. This is what I want you to do. I'm not looking for you. You don't have to come today. I want you to show up today. But what I want you to do is this. I want you to continue to study. And I want to see you at the school, because you already know. You're ahead in thinking than most brothers that we run into. And that's the thing that I love seeing. I love seeing my brothers studying and reading on their own. I love that when we come up, I ask you a question, you already know it. But this is the thing, you got to actually do it. Give me James, 122. Give me James 122. Because there's a difference between you hearing it and doing it. A lot of our people, they read these flyers, they look at the videos, and they hear it. But they have a disconnect when it comes to actually doing it. You get what I'm saying? And the love part is not just you hearing it, it's you doing it. Because case in point, did Ike Turner love Tina Turner? So you said not by his actions. So in his actions, what did he show her? Love or hatred? But he always said it, I love you, right? At least that's what I got out of the movie. So if you have a husband that says he loves his wife on a daily basis, but he's constantly beating her in the head, he really hates her. So your actions show that love. So if you say you love God, your actions must line up with what you're saying. Read what you got.
James chapter 1 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
And do what?
And not hearers only.
So don't just hear it. Because I'm telling you, bro, everything that you have said has been right on. So I know you're a hearer of the word, but do it. And this is the thing. If when you study, you run into some other camps, if you want to congregate with other camps, keep the commandments.
That's right.
This is not a campaign for you just to join us. What we want you to do is to change. So whether you're with us or not, the next time I see you on the street, I want to see you with fringes on, and I don't want to see you on the Sabbath out buying and selling. I'm not saying that you're doing it, but that's the thing, is I want to see you change. And most brothers think that this is a campaign for you to come with us. No, we just want you to change.
Right.
We want you to be that beacon of light in the hood to
Right.
make other brothers change. What you got?
I was going to say, I want to come in. I tried to find this place. Like I said, a friend gave me a flyer. And you all were in Shreveport City.
Okay.
Here where Walmart and stuff is off of River Drive. I wasn't able to make it. I was at the barber shop. He grabbed one of these. I tried to find it.
Couldn't find it. Now you know where Jewel and Lakeshore is, the intersection. You know where Cotton's grocery store is? It's catty corner across the street. Same side as Save-A-Lot. Because you have Save-A-Lot right here, and like 2 stores down is us. Yeah, and this is the thing. You'll know it's us because you'll see brothers like this outside. Because we got security. So all you do is when you go down the street, when you see cottons, look for this purple across the street. That's us.
So the school is only open on Saturdays throughout the week?
No, we concentrate mainly on Saturdays. We're open sometimes during the week. But this is the thing, that when you call that number and you talk to us, hey, if you need us, we'll be there. We'll show up. But the first step, be there on the Sabbath. Because on the Sabbath, everybody is there. You get what I'm saying? What you got? You got any questions?
Really, I don't. I just want to say this here. I do need help because, like, I'm out today. I might not buy or sell. But, I mean, I might not be working because, thanks to the Most High, I live both my jobs. You know, I work on it for Saturdays. It's Saturday. And not because it was over, I just believe the Most High money that I'm trying to keep.
Yeah.
But then I find myself buying something.
Yeah.
You know, or I do something on the Sabbath day that really, to me, is messing it up. I done messed it up.
I get what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a process. But this, like I said, we read it before. We'll read it again because this will actually help you in that process. Read what you got.
Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 12.
Bring it up.
Be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
So it says, whose mind is according to thy mind. So you're walking. Matter of fact, give me that Amos, what is that? Amos 3 and 3? Yeah, 3 and 3. So that's what I'm saying. If you and another brother, y'all have the same mindset. Both of you have the determination to keep the commandments. When you slip, or when you, out of habit, go do something, that's when your brother's right there like, hey man, don't do that because we can't buy it. You're like, dang, I forgot all about it. Thanks, brother. Thanks, thanks. Good looking out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only way that you have that, according to what the Bible just said, is you have to continually be around a godly man. Continually means all the time, or as much as possible. I'm not saying camp out in the backyard, but at the same time, you want to be around the brothers as much as possible. See, that way, whenever you start to veer off, they get you back straight. Because if we do it to each other, you know, he might mess up and do something, and then I'm there to help him out. I might mess up and do something, but he's there to help me out. You get what I'm saying? You got it? Yeah, 3 and 3.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So he's asking a rhetorical question. Can the both of us walk together, be together, unless we're both mentally in the same mindset, we're on one accord? That's what that is saying. So that way, if we're automatic, if we have, like I said, the determination to keep God's commandments, I watch his back, he watches mine. It's like if we're just like this, I'm making sure he ain't doing nothing, nobody coming up on him. And likewise, everybody's back is covered. Everybody's taken care of. That's the point of being around a godly man. It's for us to watch each other's backs.
That's right.
Say something, where do we read it from? From the Bible. So that's why we tell brothers, man, hey, it's good. It's important to congregate, but it's also important to fact check us.
So how hard is it to, I forgot, but the scripture is Israel. Didn't say no other nation. Israel shall be saved.
Yeah.
It shall not.
Bruh, see, look,
World
see,
without end.
you quoting it verbatim. I know you know it.
So when you go to John 3:16,
He's not talking
and you
about
read God so much the world, all you gotta do is it says world over there. So it say world here. So if it said Israel, the world, will Israel be there?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's talking about. Because check this out. Matter of fact, no, you got to read that. Go to John 3:16 real quick. Because I'm going to show you something. Because you already got the understanding on Isaiah 45:17. But I'm going to show you something else. Because a lot of people, they think that when he says that in John 3:16, that he's talking about everybody, correct? Okay.
Book of John, chapter 3, and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Okay, so it says that God said, let me see that again. It says, for God so loved the world. Because a lot of people think, okay, well, that's everybody, correct? But you just said in Isaiah 45:17, that world is Israel, correct? Now hold John 3:16. Now go to John 17 and 9. Same book, farther back in the book. John 17 and 9. Because like I said, a lot of people think when he says, for God so loved the world, talking about everybody, right? Let me show you something.
It's the book of John, chapter 17 and verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me.
So who's the them and who's the world in that sense?
Israel is them.
Israel is a them, but who's the world?
Israel.
The world,
And the world is the other people,
Yeah.
because he's saying he
I pray for them. I pray for them who God has given me. I pray not for the world.
And that's what people get tricked.
That's what people get tripped up at. That's why we tell people, hey, look, study. Read the Bible for yourself. If you have questions, call. Because we're going to use the Bible to prove the Bible. We don't freestyle off the top of our head. I'm not going to give you my opinion. My opinion lies in this book. I'm going to tell you, thus says the Lord.
That's right.
Just like, go back to John 3:16. Read it again.
John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Acts 22 real quick. Because it also says whosoever, right? Now you know that the world in that sense is talking about Israel. John 17 and 9, them who was given to me, that's Israel, right? Okay. You got it? Read what you got.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
So in John 3:16 it says whosoever, right? And it says right here, whosoever, right? Read.
Ye men of Israel.
You men of who?
Ye men of Israel. Hear these words.
So that's talking about Israel. From Genesis to Revelation, it's talking about Israel.
Right.
Because think about this. If God says he's going to save Israel, he's going to save Israel from those who hate us. Because even if you look at the news, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, we're the ones that's hated amongst all nations.
Right.
Everybody hates us for whatever reason. But God says, look, what I'm going to do is this. If you do what I told you to do, which is keep my commandments, after enough of y'all start keeping, once 1/3 of Israel starts keeping my commandments, I'm going to come back and I'm going to reverse the roles. You're no longer going to be on the bottom, you're going to be on the top.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.